My name is Sarah Mitchell, and I'm 32 years old. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, where I work as a garden designer. That means I help people make their yards and outdoor spaces beautiful with plants and flowers. Last Thanksgiving changed my life forever, but not in the way anyone expected. My parents invited our whole family to dinner, about 30 people including aunts, uncles, and cousins. Everyone was laughing and having fun eating turkey and pumpkin pie. Then came the gift-giving moment. My mom stood up and smiled at my older sister, Jessica. "We have something special for you, honey," Mom said loudly so everyone could hear. She handed Jessica a big, fancy envelope. Inside were tickets for a 2-week cruise to the Caribbean islands. The trip cost $13,000. Everyone clapped and cheered. Jessica started crying happy tears and hugged Mom and Dad. Then Mom turned to me. "And for you, Sarah?" She handed me a tiny envelope. I opened it. Inside was a single lottery ticket worth $2. "This is perfect for someone in your situation," Mom said with a strange smile. The whole room heard her. People started laughing. My brother-in-law Ryan made a joke about how maybe I'd win $5. I stood there, holding that crumpled $2 ticket, feeling my face turn red. Everyone was staring at me. But here's what nobody knew that night. That little $2 ticket was about to win me $100 million. And that wasn't even the craziest part. 3 days before Thanksgiving, I had visited my grandmother Betty at her house. She's 89 years old, and one of the only people in my family who really understands me. We were having tea in her kitchen when she grabbed my hand. "Sarah, I need you to do something for me," she whispered. "Next week, call a lawyer named Robert Johnson. It's very important. Promise me." "Grandma, are you okay? Why do you need a lawyer?" I asked, worried. "Just promise me you'll call him. Write down his number." She handed me a piece of paper with shaky handwriting on it. I promised, even though I didn't understand why. Grandma Betty seemed scared about something, but before I could ask more questions, my mom walked into the kitchen. "Mom, you shouldn't be up and moving around so much," my mom said to Grandma Betty, leading her back to her chair. "The doctor said you need rest." I put the phone number in my pocket and didn't think about it again until after Thanksgiving night. Now, standing in my parents' dining room, holding that $2 lottery ticket while everyone laughed at me, I remembered Grandma's words. Something wasn't right in my family, and I was about to find out what. Audience engagement. Have you ever felt left out by your own family? Have your parents ever treated you unfairly compared to your brothers or sisters? Drop a comment below and let me know. I read every single one. And if you want to find out what happens when I discover I won $100 million, make sure to keep reading. Trust me, you won't believe what I found out about my own family. Hit that like button if you're on my side so far. The rest of Thanksgiving dinner felt like a bad dream. While Jessica showed everyone pictures of the cruise ship on her phone, I quietly helped clear the dishes. Nobody asked me how I felt. Nobody seemed to care. I started washing dishes in the kitchen, alone as usual. That's when I heard voices coming from my dad's office down the hall. The door was cracked open just a little bit. I recognized the voices. It was my dad, my mom, and Ryan, my sister's husband. "The payment is due in 2 weeks," Ryan was saying. "If we don't pay, we lose everything." I know, my dad replied, sounding stressed. "But where am I supposed to get $180,000? My hands froze in the soapy water. $180,000? What were they talking about? "We'll figure something out," Mom said. "We always do." I dried my hands and quietly walked closer to the door. "What about your mother's house?" Ryan asked. "That property is worth at least $300,000. There was a long silence. "She already signed it over," Dad said quietly. 6 months ago when she was in the hospital. She didn't really know what she was signing. The pain medication had her all confused. My heart stopped. They were talking about Grandma Betty's house. The house where she'd lived for 50 years. The house where I'd spent every summer as a kid, learning to plant tomatoes in her garden. "Good," Ryan said. "So, if things go bad, we can sell it and cover the debt." I felt sick to my stomach. My own parents had tricked my grandmother into signing away her house when she was weak and confused in the hospital. And Ryan was part of it. I carefully backed away from the door before anyone could see me. My mind was racing. I needed proof of what I'd just heard, but I didn't know how to get it. After everyone left that night, I volunteered to help clean up, something I always did anyway. My parents went to bed early, tired from hosting. Jessica and Ryan had already driven home with their kids. I was alone downstairs. I knew it was wrong, but I had to know the truth. I quietly walked into Dad's office and turned on the small desk lamp. His desk was covered with papers, bills, letters, and folders stacked everywhere. Then I saw it. A thick folder labeled Property Documents. My hands shook as I opened it. Inside were papers about Grandma Betty's house. There was a deed transfer document with her signature on it, but the signature looked shaky and wrong, not like her normal handwriting at all. The date on the paper was from 6 months ago, exactly when she'd been in the hospital after falling and breaking her hip. I pulled out my phone and took pictures of everything. Every single page. I didn't know what I was going to do with these photos yet, but something told me I'd need them. Under those papers, I found something even worse. It was a loan agreement. My dad had borrowed $180,000 from some company I'd never heard of. The interest rate was incredibly high, 32% per year. That's illegal in most cases, but this company seemed to be doing it anyway. And there, at the bottom of the loan, was a second signature. Ryan Pierce, my brother-in-law. He was listed as a co-signer and financial consultant. Financial consultant? Ryan always told everyone he was a successful business advisor, but this looked like something completely different. This looked like the kind of loan that criminals offer to desperate people. The collateral, the thing Dad promised to give up if he couldn't pay the money back, was Grandma Betty's house. I took pictures of everything, then carefully put all the papers back exactly where I'd found them. My heart was pounding so hard I thought someone might hear it. As I was leaving the office, I noticed one more thing on Dad's computer screen. He'd left his email open. The most recent message was from Ryan, sent just yesterday. "Don't worry about Sarah," the email said. "She's too busy with her little gardening projects to notice anything. Just keep her out of the loop like always. Once we sell the house, we'll split the profit 50/50ths and nobody will know." I felt tears sting my eyes, but I didn't let them fall. Instead, I took a picture of that email too. My own family thought I was stupid. They thought I wouldn't notice that they were stealing from my grandmother. They kept me out of family decisions and treated me like I didn't matter. Also, I wouldn't ask questions. That's when I truly understood. The cruise for Jessica, the $2 lottery ticket for me, it wasn't about love or fairness. It was about keeping me small and quiet so I wouldn't discover what they were doing. I drove home that night to my small apartment in Scottsdale. It wasn't fancy, but it was mine. I lived alone with my cat, Pepper, who greeted me at the door like always. I sat on my couch and looked at the crumpled lottery ticket my mom had given me. It was sitting on my coffee table where I'd tossed it earlier. "Well, Pepper," I said to my cat, "might as well check if this thing won anything." I pulled out my phone and searched for Mega Millions lottery results. The winning numbers from last night's drawing appeared on my screen. Just for fun, I compared them to my ticket. First number, matched. Second number, matched. Third number, matched. I sat up straighter. Fourth number, matched. Fifth number, matched. Sixth number, the mega ball, matched. All 6 numbers. Perfect match. I checked again. Then I checked a third time on the official lottery website. Same numbers. Same result. I had just won $100 million. I didn't scream. I didn't jump up and down. I just sat there on my couch, staring at that little $2 ticket, while Pepper purred next to me. The ticket my parents gave me as a joke, the one that was supposed to show me my place in the family, had just made me richer than everyone in my family combined. But I didn't feel happy.
Not yet.
First, I needed to help Grandma Betty. And I needed to understand everything that was happening. I remembered the phone number Grandma had given me. Robert Johnson, the lawyer. It was almost midnight, too late to call, but I sent him an email instead. "Dear Mr. Johnson," I typed. "My name is Sarah Mitchell. My grandmother, Betty Mitchell, told me to contact you. I have some legal questions about property fraud and elder abuse. Also, I just won the lottery. I think I'm going to need your help. Can we meet as soon as possible? I hit send and went to bed, but I didn't sleep much that night. The next morning, I had an email response from Robert Johnson waiting for me. Dear Ms. Mitchell, it said, your grandmother has been a client of mine for over 10 years. Yes, we need to meet immediately. I have important information about a trust fund she set up in your name. Can you come to my office today at 2 p.m.? And congratulations on your lottery win. Don't tell anyone else about it yet.
Trust me on this.
Robert Johnson, attorney at law. A trust fund? In my name? What was Grandma talking about? I had so many questions, but I'd have to wait until 2 p.m. to get answers. Robert Johnson's office was in downtown Phoenix, in a tall building with shiny windows. I was nervous as I rode the elevator to the 10th floor. The waiting room had comfortable leather chairs and smelled like coffee and old books. Ms. Mitchell? A friendly woman at the desk smiled at me. Mr. Johnson is ready to see you. I followed her down a hallway to a large office. Robert Johnson was an older man, maybe 65 years old, with gray hair and kind eyes behind his glasses. He stood up and shook my hand. Sarah, please sit down, he said warmly. Your grandmother talks about you all the time. She's very proud of you. Thank you, I said, sitting in the chair across from his big wooden desk. She told me to call you, but she didn't say why. Mr. Johnson opened a folder on his desk. Let me start by saying that your grandmother is one of the smartest women I've ever met. 10 years ago, she came to me because she was worried about something. Worried about what? I asked. She was worried that your mother, her own daughter, would try to take money from you if she ever left you anything in her will. So we created something called a trust fund. Do you know what that is? I shook my head. Not really. It's like a special bank account that nobody can touch except you. Your grandmother put $500,000 into this trust fund, and she made me promise not to tell you about it until the right time. My mouth fell open. $500,000? That's $500,000. Yes, Mr. Johnson nodded. She saved that money over her whole life. She wanted you to have it because, in her words, Sarah is the only one who loves me for me, not for my money. Tears filled my eyes. Grandma Betty had been protecting me all this time. But there's more, Mr. Johnson said, his face becoming serious. 3 months ago, your grandmother called me from the hospital. She was very upset. She said your parents had brought her papers to sign, and she'd signed them without really understanding what they were. She was on strong pain medicine at the time and felt very confused. I pulled out my phone. Like these papers? I showed him the photos I'd taken from Dad's office. Mr. Johnson looked at them carefully, and his expression grew angry. This is exactly what I was afraid of, he said. This is fraud, Sarah. Your grandmother didn't understand what she was signing. The signature is shaky and unclear. And the date shows she was heavily medicated in the hospital. Can we fix it? I asked. Can we get her house back? With your lottery money, yes, he said. We can challenge this deed in court. We can also pay off your father's debt so the house isn't in danger anymore. But I need to know, are you sure you want to do this? This will make your family very angry. I thought about Thanksgiving dinner. I thought about the $2 lottery ticket. I thought about the way my parents had laughed at me in front of 30 people. I'm sure, I said. Grandma Betty needs help. That's more important than keeping my parent happy. Mr. Johnson smiled. Your grandmother chose the right person to trust. Now, let's talk about your lottery winnings. Before you do anything else, we need to set up what's called an LLC, a limited liability company. This lets you claim the money anonymously, so your name doesn't appear in the newspapers. Why does that matter? I asked. Because the moment people know you have $100 million, everyone will want something from you. Family members you haven't heard from in years will suddenly call. Strangers will ask you for money. It's better if we keep this quiet. Okay, I agreed. What do I need to do? For the next hour, Mr. Johnson explained everything. The lottery money would be about $62 million after taxes. He would help me create the LLC, set up bank accounts, and make investments so the money would last forever. He also explained how we would save Grandma's house. First, we'd pay off Dad's $180,000 loan completely. Then we'd challenge the property deed in court using Grandma's medical records from the hospital. Finally, we'd put the house back in Grandma's name with special protections so nobody could ever take it from her again. How long will all this take? I asked. About 2 weeks for the lottery money to clear, he said. Then another week to handle the house situation. But Sarah, you need to understand something. When we do this, your family will know. And they won't be happy. I understand, I said quietly. But I didn't really understand.
Not yet.
I had no idea just how angry my family would become. That night, I visited Grandma Betty at her apartment. After she'd fallen and broken her hip, she couldn't live alone anymore, so she'd moved into a senior living community. Her small apartment had pictures of our family on every wall. Pictures of me as a little girl, planting seeds in her garden. Sarah, she smiled when I walked in. What a wonderful surprise. I sat down next to her chair and held her hand. Grandma, I talked to Robert Johnson today. Her eyes got wide.
Oh.
So now you know about the trust fund. Why didn't you tell me? I asked. She squeezed my hand. Because your mother has always been jealous of you, sweetheart. I know that's a hard thing to hear about your own mom, but it's true. When you were born, you were such a happy, creative baby. You loved flowers and nature. Your mother wanted you to be more like Jessica, interested in money and status, and impressing people. But why? I asked. Because that's what your mother values, Grandma said sadly. And when you grew up to be your own person, someone who cared more about making beautiful gardens than making lots of money, she didn't know how to love that version of you. That's not fair, I whispered. No, it's not, Grandma agreed. But Sarah, I need to tell you something else. Did you find out about my house? I nodded. I saw the papers. I know what Dad and Ryan did. A tear rolled down Grandma's cheek. I was so confused that day in the hospital. Everything hurt, and the medicine made my head foggy. They told me I was signing insurance papers. I didn't know. I didn't know they were taking my house. I hugged Grandma Betty tight. It's going to be okay. I'm going to fix this. You're going to get your house back, I promise. How? She asked, wiping her eyes. I don't have enough money to fight them in court. I smiled. Remember that lottery ticket Mom gave me at Thanksgiving? The $2 one. Yes, Grandma said. That was so cruel of her. Well, it won, I said. I won $100 million. Grandma Betty stared at me for a long moment. Then she started laughing. Not a small laugh. A big, deep laugh that made her whole body shake. Oh my goodness, she said, still laughing. Patricia gave you a lottery ticket as an insult, and you won $100 million? That's the best karma I've ever heard of. We both laughed together until we cried. It felt good to laugh. It felt good to have someone on my side. I'm going to pay off Dad's debt and get your house back, I told her. Mr. Johnson is helping me. But Grandma, I need to know. Do you want to live in your house again? Her eyes filled with hope. More than anything. I miss my garden. I miss my kitchen. I miss my home. Then that's what we'll do, I promised. I'll fix up the house, make it safe for you, and you can go home. For 2 weeks, I kept my secret. I went to work every day, designing gardens and meeting with clients. I smiled and acted normal. Meanwhile, Mr. Johnson was busy behind the scenes, setting up my LLC, claiming my lottery prize, and preparing the legal documents to challenge the house deed. My family had no idea what was coming. Jessica called me a few days before their cruise. Hey Sarah, can you do me a favor while we're gone? What kind of favor? I asked. Can you water Mom's plants? You know how she is about her orchids. She'll freak out if they die. Of course. Even when they were going on a fancy vacation without me, I was expected to help. Sure, I said. Have fun on your cruise. Thanks. We're so excited. Ryan booked us a special dinner at the captain's table. It's going to be amazing. I hung up and stared at my phone. Ryan. The man who was helping my dad steal from Grandma. The man who thought I was too stupid to notice. Jessica had no idea what kind of person she'd married. And I was about to tell her. The day before the cruise, my whole family had a big bon voyage dinner at my parents' house. Everyone was there, Mom, Dad, Jessica, Ryan, and their 2 kids, plus some aunts and uncles. I arrived with a homemade salad, like always. Nobody really thanked me. They were too busy talking about the cruise. We're going snorkeling in Barbados, Jessica said excitedly. And there's a private beach in St. Lucia. Ryan put his arm around her. Nothing but the best for my beautiful wife. I wanted to throw up, but I smiled instead. During dinner, Ryan made another joke about my lottery ticket. Hey Sarah, did you check those numbers yet? Maybe you won $5. Everyone laughed. Not yet, I lied. I've been too busy with work. That's Sarah, Mom said, not really looking at me. Always working in the dirt. Soil, I corrected quietly. It's called soil, not dirt. And yes, I love my work. Nobody heard me. They were already talking about something else. After dinner, I helped clean up, alone, as usual. As I was washing dishes, I heard Dad in the living room talking to Ryan. So the payment is due next week, Dad said quietly, while we're all on the cruise. Don't worry about it, Ryan replied. If you can't pay, we'll just sell the old lady's house. Problem solved. They were talking about Grandma Betty like she was nothing. Like her home of 50 years was just a problem to solve. I dried my hands and walked into the living room. What house are you selling? Dad and Ryan both jumped, surprised to see me. Nothing, sweetheart, Dad said quickly. Just business talk. Nothing for you to worry about. Right, I said with a fake smile. I'll just go back to doing dishes. That's what I'm good for. The next morning, they all left for the cruise. I waved goodbye from my apartment window as Jessica posted pictures on social media. The whole family at the airport, excited and smiling. The picture didn't include me. It never did. That afternoon, I met with Mr. Johnson again. It's done, he said, handing me papers. Your lottery money has cleared. $62 million after taxes, sitting in your accounts. And I've filed the legal challenge for your grandmother's house. The court date is set for 3 weeks from now. What about my dad's debt? I asked. We can pay it off right now if you want. It's $215,000 total, the original $180,000 plus interest and fees. Once we pay it, the loan company will release the claim on your grandmother's house. Do it, I said. Pay it all. Mr. Johnson smiled. Consider it done. There's one more thing. The local news is running a story tonight about the lottery winner. They don't have her name because of the LLC, but they're saying someone from the Phoenix area won $100 million. The ticket was bought at a Quick Mart convenience store on Desert Road. Desert Road. That was the exact store where my mom had bought my ticket. Everyone's going to know it's me, I said, feeling nervous. Eventually, yes, Mr. Johnson agreed. Your family will figure it out. The question is, how do you want to handle it when they do? I thought about that for a minute. Then I smiled. I want to tell them myself, I said. All at once. While they're on the cruise. I want them to be stuck on that boat while I explain everything they did wrong. Mr. Johnson raised his eyebrows. That's quite a plan. They humiliated me in front of 30 people at Thanksgiving, I said. It's time they heard the truth. That night, the news story aired. Mystery winner claims $100 million Mega Millions jackpot. The headline read, ticket purchased at Quick Mart on Desert Road in Phoenix. Within an hour, my phone started buzzing. First, a text from my Aunt Marie, my mom's sister. Aunt Marie's text said, did you see the news? Someone from our neighborhood won the lottery. Can you imagine? Then my cousin David texted, wow, $100 million. Whoever won, that is so lucky. Hope they share with family, lol. But the most interesting message came from my mom. She was on the cruise ship but had internet access. Sarah, honey, do you still have that lottery ticket I gave you at Thanksgiving? Just curious. Love you. Red heart. My mom never used heart emojis. She was nervous. I waited 2 hours before responding. Let her worry. Finally, I texted back. Yes, Mom. I still have it.
Why?
3 appeared immediately, like she was typing fast. Then, no reason, sweetie. Just wanted to make sure you didn't throw it away. You should check the numbers. I didn't respond. Instead, I posted a single picture on Instagram, me standing in front of Grandma Betty's house with the caption, excited to start a special renovation project. Home is where the heart is. Red heart. I knew my family would see it. They checked social media constantly, even on vacation. Within minutes, my phone exploded. Dad called. I didn't answer. Jessica called. I didn't answer. Ryan called. I definitely didn't answer. Then Mom called 3 times in a row. On the 4th call, I picked up. Sarah. Finally. Mom sounded panicked. Why are you at your grandmother's house? What renovation project? I'm fixing it up, I said calmly. It needs some work. But that house isn't. I mean, we're handling that property. You don't need to get involved. Actually, Mom, I do need to get involved. That's Grandma's house. She should be able to live there. Silence on the other end. Then Dad's voice. Mom had put me on speakerphone. Sarah, we need to talk about this when we get back from the cruise, Dad said in his serious voice. There are financial matters you don't understand. Oh, I understand perfectly, I said. I understand that you made Grandma sign away her house when she was confused in the hospital. I understand that Ryan gave you a loan with an illegal interest rate. I understand that you were planning to sell her house to pay your debt. I understand everything, Dad. More silence. I could hear people talking in the background. They were in a public area on the ship. How did you? Dad started, but I interrupted. I think we should all talk about this together, I said. All of you. At the same time. How about a video call tomorrow night at 8 p.m.? I have some things to share with the whole family. Sarah, what's going on? Jessica's voice joined in. Why are you being so weird? Tomorrow at 8 p.m., I repeated. Make sure everyone is there. Mom, Dad, Jessica, and especially Ryan. This involves all of you. I hung up before anyone could argue. Mr. Johnson helped me prepare for the video call. We organized all my evidence, photos of the loan documents, pictures of Grandma's shaky signature on the house deed, screenshots of Dad's emails with Ryan, and proof that Grandma was on heavy medication when she signed the papers. We also prepared proof of my lottery win and documents showing that I'd already paid off Dad's debt. Are you sure you want to do this? Mr. Johnson asked me. Once you tell them everything, there's no going back. Your relationship with your family will change forever. I thought about Grandma Betty crying in her small apartment, missing her home. I thought about all the years of being treated like I didn't matter. I thought about that $2 lottery ticket and everyone laughing at me. I'm sure, I said. The next night at exactly 8 p.m., I logged into the video call. My whole family was crowded together in what looked like a fancy lounge on the cruise ship. The ocean sparkled behind them through big windows. Mom was wearing a flowery dress. Dad had on a Hawaiian shirt. Jessica looked tan and happy. Ryan sat slightly away from everyone else, his arms crossed. Sarah? Mom's voice was too cheerful, too fake. There's our girl. We've been so worried about you. Hi everyone, I said calmly. Thanks for making time to talk. I know you're busy enjoying your vacation. Family always comes first, Dad said, but his eyes looked nervous. That's interesting that you say that, Dad, I said, because I wanted to talk to you all about family. Specifically, about how we treat each other. What do you mean? Jessica asked, confused. I shared my screen. The first document appeared, a photo of the loan agreement. This is a loan that Dad took out from Ryan's company 6 months ago. $180,000 at 32% interest. That interest rate is illegal in Arizona, by the way. It's what criminals charge when they want to trap people in debt they can never escape. Dad's face turned white. Ryan stood up quickly. Where did you get that? Sit down, Ryan, I said firmly. I'm not finished. I clicked to the next image, the house deed with Grandma's signature. This is the deed to Grandma Betty's house. You can see it's signed and dated from 6 months ago, the same week Grandma was in the hospital with a broken hip. Look closely at the signature. It's shaky and unclear. That's because Grandma was on strong pain medication. She didn't know what she was signing. Mom started to say something, but I kept going. I have Grandma's medical records from the hospital. They show she was given morphine for pain every 4 hours. The nurse's notes say she was confused and disoriented. She wasn't able to make legal decisions. But you brought her these papers anyway and had her sign them. Sarah, you don't understand. Dad tried to interrupt. I understand that you committed fraud, I said clearly. You tricked an 89-year-old woman into signing away her home. That's called elder abuse, and it's a serious crime. The video call was completely silent now. I could see people in the background on the cruise ship stopping to look at my family, wondering what was happening. But wait, I said. There's more. I clicked to the next screen. Text messages between Ryan and a woman named Ashley. These are messages between Ryan and his coworker Ashley. They've been dating for 8 months. Jessica's face went pale as she read the messages on the screen. The texts were clear and terrible. Ryan had written things like, "Can't wait until this cruise is over. Once I get the money from selling that old house, I'm filing for divorce. Jessica was useful, but I'm done pretending." Another message said, "Her family is so easy to manipulate. They think I'm some kind of financial genius. Really, I just loan money to desperate people and take everything when they can't pay." Jessica's hand covered her mouth. Tears started rolling down her cheeks. "These messages are fake," Ryan shouted, his face turning red. "She made this up. She's lying." "Am I?" I asked calmly. I clicked to another screen. Pictures of Ryan and Ashley together at restaurants, holding hands, kissing. "Your coworker Ashley posted these on her private social media account. My friend who works at your office showed them to me. There are dozens more if you want to see them." Ryan grabbed his phone and stormed out of the camera view. I could hear him yelling in the background, but I couldn't make out the words. Jessica was crying now, big tears that ruined her makeup. Mom put an arm around her, but Mom looked shocked too. "How could you show us this?" Mom asked me, her voice shaking. "On our vacation? You're trying to ruin everything." "No, Mom," I said. "Ryan ruined everything. I'm just showing you the truth. And speaking of truth, there's one more thing you all need to know." I took a deep breath. "That lottery ticket you gave me at Thanksgiving, the $2 one you gave me as a joke in front of 30 people, I won. I won $100 million. Complete silence. You could have heard a pin drop. Dad's mouth opened and closed like a fish. Mom's eyes went huge. Even Jessica stopped crying for a moment and just stared at the screen. "You what?" Dad finally whispered. "I won $100 million. I repeated slowly. "Well, $62 million after taxes. And I've already used some of it." "Used it for what?" Mom asked. "I paid off Dad's loan. All $215,000 including interest and fees. The debt is completely gone." Dad looked confused. You paid it?"
Yes.
"And I've filed legal papers to challenge the house deed. My lawyer has Grandma's medical records proving she wasn't able to make decisions when she signed. We're getting her house back." "But Sarah," Dad said, his voice getting louder, "that money could have saved my business. I'm about to lose the car repair shop. We could have used that money to..." "To what?" I interrupted. "To cover up the fact that you stole from your own mother? To pretend that everything is fine?" "No, Dad. I'm not going to help you hide what you did." Mom was crying now too. "Everyone will know. The neighbors, our friends from church, everyone. They'll know we're broke. They'll know about the fraud. You've ruined our reputation." "I didn't ruin anything," I said quietly.
You did this to yourselves.
"I'm just making sure Grandma Betty gets her home back. That's what matters." "What about family?" Mom shouted. "What about loyalty? We're your parents, Sarah. And Grandma Betty is your mother," I replied. "But that didn't stop you from stealing her house, did it?" Dad stood up, angry now. "You ungrateful. We raised you. We fed you. We gave you a home. And this is how you repay us." Something inside me snapped. All the years of being ignored, being laughed at, being treated like I didn't matter. It all came rushing out. "You want to talk about what you gave me?" I asked, my voice getting louder. "Let's talk about it. At Thanksgiving, you gave Jessica a $13,000 cruise. You gave me a $2 lottery ticket and laughed at me in front of the entire family. You've never supported my career. You've never been proud of me. You only call when you need something. And now you want me to give you money and pretend none of this happened." "Sarah." Jessica tried to speak, but I wasn't done. "Jessica, I'm sorry you're finding out about Ryan this way. I really am. But you need to know who you married. He was planning to divorce you the moment he got money from Grandma's house. He used you just like he used Dad." Jessica put her face in her hands and sobbed. "Here's what's going to happen," I continued. "Grandma Betty is getting her house back. I'm having it renovated so she can live there safely. I'm hiring nurses to take care of her. And none of you will ever be able to take anything from her again. I've made sure of it legally." "You can't do this," Mom screamed. "I already did," I said. "The papers are filed. The loan is paid. It's done." Dad was breathing hard, his face red. "If you do this, you're not part of this family anymore. Do you understand me? You're out." Those words should have hurt. A week ago, they would have destroyed me.
But now?
Now I just felt free. "Okay," I said simply. "If that's what you want." I could see the shock on their faces. They expected me to apologize, to beg, to take it all back. Instead, I said, "I hope you enjoy the rest of your cruise.
Goodbye."
And I ended the call. I sat in my quiet apartment, staring at the blank computer screen. My hands were shaking, but not from fear. From relief. It was over. I'd told the truth. Whatever happened next, at least I'd been honest. My phone started ringing immediately, Mom, Dad, Jessica, all calling over and over. I turned it off. There was a knock at my door. I looked through the peephole and saw Aunt Marie, my mom's younger sister. I opened the door, confused. "Aunt Marie? How did you know I lived here?" She smiled sadly. I asked around. "Can I come in?" I let her inside. She sat on my couch and looked at me with kind eyes. "I was having coffee with a friend when your mom called me, crying," Aunt Marie said. "She told me what happened on the video call. She said you've turned against the whole family." My heart sank. I just told the truth. "I know," Aunt Marie said, surprising me. "And I'm proud of you." I stared at Aunt Marie, not sure I'd heard her correctly. "You're proud of me?" "Yes," she said firmly. "Sarah, I've watched your parents treat you unfairly for years. I've seen how they favor Jessica, how they ignore your accomplishments, how they make you feel small. I wanted to say something so many times, but I was afraid. Your mom is my big sister, and she can be very scary when she's angry." Aunt Marie reached into her purse and pulled out an envelope. "Your Grandma Betty asked me to give this to you. She wanted you to have it after you talked to your family." With shaking hands, I opened the envelope. Inside was a letter in Grandma's handwriting. "My dearest Sarah," it began. "If you're reading this, it means you've been brave enough to stand up for what's right. I'm so proud of you. Your whole life, you've been told you're not good enough, not smart enough, not important enough. But I've always known the truth. You have the biggest heart of anyone in this family. You care about beauty, about nature, about making the world a better place. That's not weakness. That's strength. I'm giving you my house not just because I trust you, but because I know you'll fill it with love and flowers and life, the way it was always meant to be. Don't let anyone make you feel guilty for choosing truth over lies. I love you always. Grandma Betty." Tears streamed down my face as I read. Aunt Marie hugged me while I cried. "She wrote that letter 3 months ago," Aunt Marie explained. "When she realized what your parents had done with her house. She knew you'd be the one to fix it, even before the lottery, even before everything else. She's always believed in you." "I need to see her," I said, wiping my eyes. "She's waiting for you," Aunt Marie smiled. "I'll drive you there right now." When we got to Grandma Betty's apartment at the Senior Living Center, she was sitting in her favorite chair by the window. Her face lit up when she saw me. "Sarah?" She reached out her arms. I knelt beside her chair and hugged her carefully. She was so small and fragile, but her hug was strong. "You did it," she whispered. "You told them the truth." "I did," I said. "And Grandma, I have good news. Your house is going to be yours again. Legally, officially yours. Nobody can take it away this time." Grandma Betty started crying happy tears. "Can I really go home?" "Yes, I promised. I'm hiring people to fix everything that's broken. We'll make it safe and comfortable. You can have nurses visit every day to help you. And I'll plant new flowers in your garden, whatever kinds you want." "Roses," she said immediately. "I've always loved roses. Pink ones and yellow ones." "Then roses it is," I smiled. Over the next 3 weeks, I kept my phone turned off most of the time. When I did check it, there were hundreds of messages. Some from Mom and Dad, angry at first, then begging. "Sarah, please call us.
We can work this out.
Family is forever." But I noticed they never actually apologized. They never said, "We're sorry for what we did to Grandma." They just wanted me to forgive them and give them money. Jessica's messages were different. "Sarah, I'm so sorry.
I didn't know about Ryan.
I didn't know about any of it. I feel so stupid."
Can we talk?
I wasn't ready to talk to her yet, but at least she was trying. The messages from Ryan were mean and threatening. "You're going to regret this. I have lawyers too. I'll sue you for slander." But Mr. Johnson said Ryan couldn't do anything. Everything I'd shown was true, and truth is a perfect defense. The best message came from my cousin David. "I heard what happened. I just want you to know, I think you did the right thing. Grandma Betty deserves better. You're a good person, Sarah. Don't let anyone tell you different." That message made me cry in a good way. Mr. Johnson called with an update. The court reviewed the case. "With your grandmother's medical records and the expert testimony from her doctor, the judge has ruled in our favor. The house deed signed in the hospital is void. It doesn't count. The property officially belongs to Betty Mitchell again." "That's wonderful," I said. "There's more," Mr. Johnson continued. "The judge was very concerned about potential elder abuse. He's ordered an investigation into your father and Ryan's business practices. Ryan might face criminal charges for the predatory loans." I didn't feel happy about that exactly, but I did feel like justice was happening. "What about my dad?" I asked. "Your father will likely just face fines since you already paid off the debt. But Sarah, you should know, your father declared bankruptcy last week. He's losing the car repair shop." I felt a small pang of sadness. That shop had been Dad's dream for 30 years. But then I remembered, he'd been willing to steal his own mother's house to save it. Some dreams aren't worth that price. The renovation of Grandma's house took 2 months. I hired the best contractors in Phoenix to fix the roof, update the bathroom so it was safe for someone Grandma's age, and install ramps so she could use a wheelchair if she needed to. I spent my own time working on the garden. I planted roses like she wanted, pink ones, yellow ones, and some red ones too. I added lavender and daisies and sunflowers. I built a small fountain where birds could drink water. When it was finally ready, Aunt Marie helped me bring Grandma Betty home. She cried when she saw it. "It's beautiful, Sarah. It's perfect." "Welcome home, Grandma," I said. That night, we sat in her garden together, watching the sunset. The sky turned orange and pink and purple. Birds sang in the trees. "Are you happy?" Grandma asked me. I thought about that question. I'd lost most of my family. My parents weren't speaking to me. Jessica sent occasional texts, but we hadn't seen each other. Holidays would be different now. Probably lonely. But I had Grandma. I had Aunt Marie. I had my work that I loved. I had enough money to never worry again. I had the truth, and I had freedom. "Yes," I said honestly. "I'm happy." "Good," Grandma smiled. "That's all I ever wanted for you." 6 months passed after that video call on the cruise ship. My life changed in ways I never expected. I didn't go back to my old job. Instead, I started my own gardening business called Betty's Gardens in honor of my grandmother. I hired 3 people to help me, all young women who loved plants and nature just like me. We designed beautiful gardens for schools, hospitals, and parks around Phoenix. Every garden we created was special, a place where people could sit and feel peaceful. The business was successful, not because I needed the money, but because I loved the work. The lottery money sat safely in the bank, managed by Mr. Johnson and his team. I didn't buy fancy cars or a huge mansion. Instead, I bought a small, cozy house just 2 blocks away from Grandma Betty's place. That way, I could visit her every single day. My house had a big backyard where I could test new plant ideas. I adopted a dog from the animal shelter, a golden retriever I named Daisy. She loved digging holes in my garden, which should have annoyed me, but it just made me laugh. Every morning, Daisy and I would walk to Grandma's house. I'd make us both breakfast, and we'd sit in her rose garden, drinking tea and talking about everything and nothing. Grandma was healthier and happier than she'd been in years. The nurses I hired visited twice a day to help her with medications and bathing, but she could do most things herself. She spent hours in her garden, gently touching the roses, smiling at the butterflies. "This is what heaven must be like," she told me one morning. "Being home, surrounded by beauty, with the people you love." One afternoon, there was a knock on Grandma's door. I answered it and found Jessica standing there, looking nervous. "Hi, Sarah," she said quietly. "Can we talk?" I hadn't seen her in person since Thanksgiving, 7 months ago. She looked different, thinner, tired, but also somehow stronger. "Come in," I said. We sat in Grandma's living room. Grandma stayed in her garden, giving us privacy. "I'm divorced," Jessica said. "It's final." Ryan didn't even fight it. He was too busy trying to avoid going to jail. "Is he in jail?" I asked. "Not yet, but probably soon. The investigation found that he's been running illegal loan schemes for 5 years. Lots of people lost their homes because of him. The police say he might go to prison for 10 years.
I didn't know how to feel about that.
"I'm sorry, Jessica. I know you loved him." "I thought I did," she said, tears in her eyes. "But I didn't really know him. I was so focused on having the perfect life, the perfect husband, the perfect house, the perfect vacations. I didn't see what was real." She wiped her eyes and looked at me. "Sarah, I'm so sorry. For everything. For how Mom and Dad treated you. For how I treated you. For not standing up for you at Thanksgiving. For all of it." "Why didn't you?" I asked. "Stand up for me, I mean, we're sisters." Jessica was quiet for a long moment, because it was easier not to. If Mom and Dad were focused on you being the disappointment, then I could be the golden child. I got the attention, the praise, the expensive gifts. I told myself it wasn't my fault, that you were just different, that you didn't care. But that was a lie. You did care. And I let them hurt you, because it benefited me. Her honesty surprised me. This was the realest conversation we'd had in years, maybe ever. "Where are you living now?" I asked. "In a small apartment in Tempe," she said. "I got a job at a school. I'm teaching 2nd grade. It doesn't pay much, but I like it. The kids are sweet, and for the first time in my life, I'm doing something that actually matters." "That's good," I said. "Really good." "Sarah, I'm not here to ask for money," Jessica said quickly. "I know I have no right to ask you for anything. I just wanted to say I'm sorry and that I'm trying to be a better person." I looked at my sister, really looked at her. For the first time, I didn't see the perfect, favored daughter. I saw someone who was broken and trying to put herself back together, just like me. "Would you like to have dinner sometime?" I asked. "Nothing fancy. Just sisters talking." Jessica's eyes filled with tears again. "I'd like that. I'd really like that." She stood up to leave, then stopped. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure." "Are you happy? With everything that happened, with losing Mom and Dad, with all of it, are you happy?" I thought about Grandma's rose garden, about Daisy waiting for me at home, about my business and my little house and my freedom to live life on my own terms. "Yes," I said. "I really am." Jessica smiled, a real smile. "Good. You deserve to be happy, Sarah. You always did." Mom and Dad never apologized. Not really. 3 months after the video call, Mom sent a long email. It said things like, We're very hurt by your actions, and we hope someday you'll understand we were just trying to do what was best for the family, and we forgive you for the pain you've caused us. Notice what was missing? Any acknowledgement of what they'd done wrong. Any real apology. Any understanding of why I was upset. Mr. Johnson helped me write a response. It was short and clear. Mom and Dad, I'm willing to have a relationship with you when you're ready to honestly acknowledge what you did to Grandma Betty and apologize for it. Until then, I need space. Sarah. They never responded. They chose pride over their daughter, just like they'd always chosen everything else over me. I was sad about it sometimes, but mostly I was okay.
You can't force people to change.
You can't make them see what they don't want to see. All you can do is live your own life with honesty and integrity. I started a foundation with part of my lottery money. It was called the Betty Mitchell Foundation for Creative Young Women. Every year, we gave scholarships to girls who wanted to study art, music, writing, gardening, or any creative field. The scholarship was for girls whose families didn't support their dreams, who were told their talents didn't matter, who needed someone to believe in them. Each scholarship was worth $25,000, enough to pay for college or trade school or starting a small business. We gave out 20 scholarships the first year. At the award ceremony, I met a 17-year-old girl named Maya. She wanted to be a painter, but her parents told her it was a waste of time. They want me to be a doctor or lawyer, Maya told me. Something practical. They say art is just a hobby. Art is not just a hobby, I said firmly. Art is how we make the world beautiful. It's how we express truth. It's how we connect with each other. Don't let anyone tell you it doesn't matter. Maya hugged me, crying. Thank you. You don't know how much this means. But I did know. I knew exactly how much it meant. One year after Thanksgiving, Aunt Marie organized a small dinner at Grandma Betty's house. It was just the four of us, Grandma, Aunt Marie, Jessica, and me. We cooked together, laughing in the kitchen. We ate Grandma's famous apple pie. We sat in the rose garden as the sun set, telling stories and jokes. This is what family should be, Grandma said, looking at each of us. People who love each other, support each other, tell each other the truth. I'll drink to that, Aunt Marie said, raising her glass of lemonade. We all raised our glasses and clinked them together. Later that night, after everyone had gone home, I sat on my porch with Daisy's head in my lap. The stars were bright above Phoenix, twinkling like tiny diamonds. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Hi, Sarah. This is David, your cousin. A bunch of us younger cousins want you to know we think what you did was brave. We're having a barbecue next month. Would you like to come? No pressure, just wanted you to know you're welcome. I smiled and texted back. I'd love to come. Thank you. Family isn't just about who you're related to by blood. It's about who shows up for you, who tells you the truth, who celebrates your successes instead of feeling threatened by them. I'd lost my parents, at least for now. But I'd gained something more valuable. I'd gained myself. The lottery ticket was worth $100 million, but the real treasure wasn't the money. The real treasure was learning that I was enough, exactly as I was. That my dreams mattered. That I deserved to be treated with respect and kindness. The real treasure was freedom. People often ask me if I regret what I did. If I wish I'd just given my parents the money, kept the peace, stayed quiet like always. The answer is no. Not even a little bit. Because staying quiet would have meant letting them steal from Grandma. It would have meant watching Ryan hurt my sister. It would have meant living a lie. And no amount of money is worth that. I'm Sarah Mitchell. I'm 33 years old now. I'm a garden designer, a dog mom, a granddaughter, a sister, and a scholarship founder. But most importantly, I'm someone who chose the truth over comfort, who chose integrity over approval, who chose herself. And that's worth more than all the lottery tickets in the world. The end. Thank you so much for reading my story, all the way to the end. If you've ever felt invisible in your own family, if you've ever been the one who is treated unfairly, I want you to know you're not alone. Your worth isn't determined by how others treat you. You are valuable exactly as you are. Drop a comment below and tell me, have you ever had to stand up to your family? What happened? I read every single comment. If this story touched your heart, please like and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, the real treasure in life isn't money. It's having the courage to be yourself, no matter what anyone else thinks. Until next time, know your worth, and don't let anyone tell you you're worthless. See you soon.